All right, folks, I said this video is coming, and I'm going to tell you about probably what may be one of the ultimate false prophets, certainly the most notable of false prophets, somebody that a lot of people look up to and says, oh yeah, he's the man. He's the guy that really is the end all and say all. And thank God he's not, because Pope Francis is not a good man. He is quite evil, quite frankly. And if you look at some of the statements that he has made, it is getting darker and darker and darker. We know this. He's a globalist. We know that he will not condemn evil behavior. As a matter of fact, he is one of those guys that stands up tall and defends the behavior of quite wicked people and does not confront evil the way anybody in church leadership would be required to do so. Of course, he thinks that he's God in many ways, and actually what he says here is absolutely brutal. He got asked recently what he thought of somebody who doesn't believe in God and what is going to happen to him. In other words, it's a very simple question. Jesus actually said, narrow is the road, narrow is the gate that leads to salvation. We know that, right? The gate is wide open to anybody, but the reality of it is it's a narrow road. Not a lot of people walk on it, but the Pope disagrees directly with the Lord. Look at what he says. This is his quote. He says, "You ask me if the God of the Christians forgives those who don't believe and don't seek the faith." Now I start by saying, and this is the fundamental thing, that God's mercy has no limits if you go to him with a sincere and contrite heart. The issue for those who do not believe in God is to obey their conscience. Yes, folks, that's what he's saying. Listen to how he closes this. He says, sin, even for those who have no faith, exists when people disobey their conscience. Now, what happens if I'm a man who has it in my heart to do evil, let's say towards a child? It's my conscience. My conscience tells me to do something like that. If I disobey my conscience, it's a sin. Do you see the demonically inspired fault that statement actually is? This is the kind of stuff, guys, that the Lord told us, the Bible said, we need to be aware of. We need to open up our eyes and recognize how dark these days would be as we approach the last days. The Pope is most definitely wanting to apply to be the false prophet because he has an anything goes mentality, and the evil that he is seeking to bring into fruition knows zero boundaries. You guys, it's completely out of control, and what he desires to do is absolutely wrong in bringing in a picture that God never intended to bring in. He is one of the false prophets that Jesus warns us about in Matthew chapter 7, verses 15 through 20. Folks, we need to pay attention because men like him are spewing out lies and are forsaking righteousness for the sake of their own desires to fulfill their own lusts. It's sad, you guys, and it's time to open up our eyes because none of this is biblical. All of it is demonic, and it is heartbreaking to actually watch, and we need to take a stand against it, you guys. Time to stand up for righteousness and tell people about the truth that we might be able to easily identify and shed light upon the lies. Let's get going, you guys. Time is short. Jesus is coming soon. Time to stand up for righteousness. God bless you guys.